Hi kids, so today we are going to learn how to bathe a trumpet. This is one of my beater model trumpets, so I'm just going to be showing you a couple of things to do. If your trumpet is having any severe issues, please let me know, or if you're watching this video and you're from another school, please let your teacher know. But the first things first is your brass instruments, so not just trumpet, trombone, baritone, tuba, should be washed, I'm gonna say at least once a month, depending on how much you are using it, but you want to keep it pretty clean, so that's all up to you. So the first things you want to do with your instrument is you want to unscrew your valves. So I already have these kind of pre-screwed. I am going to take this valve out and set it on the side. I am going to take this second valve out. I'm going to put it right in line with the other one. And I'm going to take this third valve out and put it there. So you should see 3 holes. That's it. Now we want to take the valves cap off as well. If they are stuck, you can use a raw hide mallet to just lightly tap on it and they will unscrew. Ideally, the best way to wash your instrument is to wash it in a bathtub or a bucket of water, a container. I don't have that at the moment right now, so I'm going to show you how I do this pretty quick. If you have a bathtub at home, I would recommend you fill it up with some just regular temperature water and you put a little bit of soap. I'm using a little bit of Dawn dish soap, more water than Dawn dish soap, so you should be able to see through the entire valve now. Depending on how stuck your instrument is, you want to pull out your main tuning slide and you put it into your bucket of water. In this case, I'm going to put it into the sink. And I'll show you how that looks in a second. So I'm going to put it in the sink. Sorry for the bell. I'm going to pull out that second valve slide. I'm going to pull out this thumb slide right here. And this slide generally will come off too, but I cannot pull this one out of the trumpet because it is a beater trumpet. So let me show you how we do the next part. Okay, so the first things first is get a towel and you want to place your trumpet on there. I have my valves 1, 2, and 3 and my valve caps. I'm going to take those and I am going to put them in the sink. I'm using a towel to just kind of protect my parts, and I am going to be cleaning each of these with a snake and some water. So this is a snake. You could go to Home Depot or go on Amazon, get one, and you're going to clean in between all of those parts and scrub all the dirty parts off. Okay, so here we go. Here's a live video. So I'm going to turn on some lukewarm water. I'm going to grab my slide. I'm going to get my snake and I'm going to push it right through here. Okay, I'm cleaning all of that stuff collected in there. Fill it up. It's easier if you have a bathtub once again, and I'm going to just pour that out into the drain. You want to make sure that you're getting all the old slide grease off as well. That's why I'm using a little bit of Dawn dish soap. I don't want any of the old grease on it. Old grease is not good. So just scrub that off. Okay. We're just going to take that. When we are done, we're going to set it on the towel. So it's going to be kind of a fast job for me, but you can just see what I'm doing. Okay. Clean the oil off. I pre-sprayed these, I should say that, so in case you're wondering, what are you doing? I'm going to clean those little valve caps. I'm just going to use the side of my brush to get it so they're nice and shiny. Okay, now we're going to clean one of the parts that I feel is where the most disgusting stuff happens, which is the main tune slide right here. So this is the main part that comes into your main tune slide. I'm going to spray a little extra juice in there. Okay. I'm going to take this snake and go all the way through. Now the best thing is that you're doing a bathtub, but if you don't, use a cup of water. I'm using a water bottle, and I'm just literally pouring it through there. Okay, now I'm going to switch brushes, and I'm going to go to a more bristly brush. You see how thick that is? I am going to clean now inside the valve. So just spray inside. I'm going to take this, I'm going to go all the way through. I do not want to cheat any corners. I know you can't see inside the sink, but there are some surprise specks of I'm not exactly sure what they are, and I'm not wanting to exactly know what they are either. So now here, if you have not washed your trumpet ever, you do not want to wet the felts that are right here. So let me turn this water on. You do not want to wet the felts, so you can spray right here and clean in between these holes. So I'm just going to spray. One spray is more than enough. Okay, and I am going to clean on the outside first. Then I'm going to put my brush in between these holes. And this is where I find the most issues with my trumpet. So I have that. I'm going to set it to the side and make sure I keep them in order. Okay, you see, I'm only cleaning on the outside, or I'm not getting my felt wet because I don't want to deal with that. Okay, I'm washing in between those holes, getting anything out. I got one more. So, just scrub that all off. Okay, I'm going to leave my brushes in there. Now it's step 2. Okay, now we are going to dry everything off. I'm going to use a microfiber cloth. You could just use a regular towel. This is all that I have in my room right now, so I'm going to use this. I'm going to dry off every valve, keeping them in place. I'm going to dry off all of these slides. Okay, we want them all dried off. Now you need 2 things to help you put it all back together. Okay, first of all, you should see all the parts here. We're going to take some slide grease, just some generic slide grease, and you're going to put a little bit on your finger. A little bit goes a long way. And we're going to start off with the main tuning slide. So any part that is a dark brass, go ahead and spread that grease onto the brass parts. You want a good enough amount because you do not want a stuck trumpet slide like I have here. Once you put it inside the trumpet, like I'm putting here, push it all the way in, pull it all the way out, push it all the way in, pull it all the way out, push it all the way in. You get it. I'm trying to spread that grease, okay? And I like to set mine out a little bit. I do not like them pushed all the way in. Okay, I'm going to put some more on these. See, a little bit of long way. And I am going to put those parts back in where they belong. There's a spot here, so I'm going to get that. And same thing, we want to spread the grease. So I'm going to put that in, pull it out, push it in, pull it out. Okay, now the valve caps. Sometimes these are a pain, and you can see this trumpet has been through it. So if you see down here, I might give that a little extra scrub. Do you see all that stuff? Because that's just an old trumpet. Okay, all better. Cleaned it all off. So now I'm going to put these valve caps on. Make sure I screw each one on. They don't need any special grease. Just putting them on and making sure that they're not dented. Putting them onto the trumpet. Now the last thing is the valves. So you're just going to take some valve oil, right? Open that up, and we're going to start with the first valve. Okay, mine has a safety lock. And I'm going to put it just around this part of the trumpet. We don't want to put it where the number 1 is. Mine says a number 1. I don't know if you see that there. And I'm going to drop it into the trumpet, and you're going to hear a small click when I turn the top knob. Ready? Did you hear the click? That means it is locked into place. So now, second valve. Right here, putting just a little bit around the valve here. I'm just giving it a little juice. Dropping it in. Make sure it's going in. Good a turn. Perfect. Okay? So I could feel it locking into place. And lastly, third valve. it in. Whoops. Okay, make sure it's fitting. I can hear it locking. And now my trumpet is all clean. Yay! Almost. My mouthpiece. If you have not looked inside your mouthpiece in a while like that, you need to check that there are no surprise items in there. So I'm going to clean this mouthpiece really quick. Okay, now I'm going to show you the last parts of the trumpet. So I have that valve oil in here, but now my trumpet won't play. This is a problem that happens with a lot of my students, and I did this on purpose. So I'm going to show you the valve really close up. So this is the first valve. You're going to see that the little valve guide here is wider and narrower. And if you look inside the trumpet, okay, let's try to see those notches right there. There is one notch that is wider and one that is narrower. If you don't have two notches, the wider notch is going to go on the only notch that you see. Okay, so for this trumpet, that's the case, but that's not every trumpet. So just gonna make sure that they are all good. Okay, so I can see trumpet valve 2 was the problem. Okay, I have them locked in. I want to make sure that they're locked in. And lastly, one more. That one was fine. Okay, so moment of truth. Does it play? Okay. Oh, your mouthpiece. Okay. So it's working. So if you come across any issues with cleaning your trumpet, your baritone, your trombone, your tuba, talk to your teachers, but that is the main process of how to clean it, and I hope this helped. Bye.